Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show every Saturday. That's right. Every Saturday we're here with you from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And our goal has always been the same, right, Gino?
Absolutely. Guide you to personal financial wellness.
Way to go. Teed you up and everything.
Perfect.
We'd love you to join us in our custom-built studio, the Vault Media Studio. We call it the Vault Media Studio. It's ironic. This used to be the Bank of Santa Cruz where we're at, right on Turney Road. And we decided to build our own studio here. And this location happened to be perfect because it has extra thick walls and really quiet because this is where the safe used to be.
Yeah, it's actually, the outside of it's actually really interesting. It was that's a whole concrete wall on the outside of it. So if you're ever really frustrated, that's the best place to bang your head against the wall in our entire building.
Also, you used to have the teller.
The ATM used to be built into that. So you can imagine how that was built.
So we conveniently call it the Vault Media Studio, but also we also have the magazine we created called The Vault, which is again sharing all these great professionals with you. And these great professionals can be found in one place. After 5.5 years of interviewing the best of the best, we have found the best real estate professionals, best estate planners, financial planners, college planners, bankruptcy attorneys, divorce attorneys, thank goodness, and, and so forth. And you never know what you're going to need until you need it, so you want the best. So go to aprgi.com. That's aprgi.com. That stands for America's Professional Resource Group. These guys are all guns. In fact, we even changed the name. It's funny, I was at the CMA meeting this week, and I went up and they go, anything new? I'm like, yes, Skyline has changed their name. And they're like, ooh, the whole room, there's like 70 agents. And I'm like, we are now called Badass Nation.
All right. I like that.
We will not have anyone working at Skyline, from anyone who's supporting our team to be mortgage planning for you, that isn't a badass, or they will not stay on our team. We have to be dedicated to providing the best service for you and the best information. And so now we are Badass Nation.
I like it.
I bet you would. Huh?
I like that a lot.
You know, one of the things that's funny about that and really exciting is that as we've gone to your trainings, which are amazing trainings, we go every Thursday to your trainings.
We learn something.
We learn something every time. But what's beautiful about it is that a lot of the professionals that you've brought in coincide with our professionals on America's Professional Resource Group. It was easy to introduce Lisa Odom, you know,
who did our estate planning.
who does our estate planning, you know, and we've known Bill for years. So these are all people that we work with on a regular basis and we think are the best of the best. So it's good to see that we're in line with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so before we get more tangents, because we do this, it's so bad. You got a bunch of people who've been in the industry for a bazillion years, and we can talk about anything. So we're having a good time, and thank you for sharing our Saturday with us. Okay, again, Mike Bjorkman with HomeSmart. He's the broker of HomeSmart, the fastest growing real estate company in all of the U.S. and especially here in Santa Cruz. He's going to share with you, before we go out on tangents, because we got plenty, what's the difference between a buyer's agent and a listing agent? Aren't they the same thing? It's real estate, right?
You know, in 25 years of my career, and this is my very favorite question, because people call me all the time and say, hey, Mike, I want to sell my house. Or people call me and say, hey, Mike, I wish I would have called you to sell your house. So those are the two types of things. And I say, you know, oh, why? What happened? Well, there's a difference between a listing agent and an agent that represents buyers. Now, most people say, hey, you have a real estate license. Can you do both? And the answer is yes. But it's, you know, and I always use cars as analogies. Do you take your Ferrari to the Honda dealer for service? No, there's two totally different things. So if you're a listing agent, primarily, you put your sign in the yard, you market the property, negotiate the property, and close it through escrow, and take care of all the problems within that. If you're a buyer's agent, you represent a buyer from start to finish. You show them property, write the contracts. A good agent can't do both. And there's a reason why. Real estate's a full-time job. And let's start out with a listing agent, which I am, which I really love. It is my job.
We're in the best of.
Thank you.
You are. I mean, it's amazing how many you have at all times. I mean, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, and that's, you know, you specialize in something, and it starts naturally coming to you, and you work at that and get that reputation. But as seller's agent, me, listing agent, if you will, it's my job all day, every day to find a buyer for a house. Right. So when I put my sign in your yard, it's my job to start marketing actively. So people don't realize we have to sell the home twice, first to the agents, then to the public. The agents
that's
have
interesting.
the
I like
agents
that.
have
All
over
right.
90% of the buyers. If you look at the MLS, it'll prove it. So I have to get the agents really super excited about the home, or nobody's going to be able to see it. Back in the day, there was the MLS. It was all locked down. The agents had that, and the town was really small. There was 4 houses on the market, but it doesn't work like that today. So I need to market to the property, to the agents, excuse me, and that requires network groups, email campaigns, a huge amount of social media, and I need every agent in this town to know about it. And there's about 1,500 of them out here now. So they need to know about the property, and then it comes to the public, and then it's launching campaigns, whether it be search engine optimized websites and Google campaigns and things of that nature. So it's completely different than what most people think of an agent driving people around in circles showing them property. So it's my job to make the phone ring and make agents show the properties and make buyers call me to see that individual property.
So I'm going to give a small example of that, okay? Because when I was an agent, even though I was representing my buyers most of the time, and I had access to the MLS, I'm always looking in the MLS for my buyers' needs. I'll tell you what, when that email flyer came in for that property, that property was on the MLS, but I saw that flyer and the flyer came in. I said, "Oh, that's perfect for Jesse."
Right.
Now, it's not that I hadn't already seen that property, but because it came through a different medium, it gave me more influence to go look at that property.
It's in your face, and
Yep.
and that's why marketing is so important. Like we do
my goodness.
the virtual walkthrough floor plans with the Matterport cameras
It's
that you
awesome.
can legitimately walk through the house. And I'm not
How
talking
can someone
just a
see that
slideshow.
before you go? They need to see this because it is awesome.
Well, if you go to my website, santaclaritarealestate.com, go to virtual tours, click on the first couple properties, scroll down to the bottom, it says 3D tours. Now, this is a extremely expensive process,
Yes,
extremely
that's why they need to
expensive
see this.
camera. Yeah, it's not the little virtual slideshow that so many people are accustomed to seeing today. You could, for reals in Florida, walk through the house, look at the ceiling, look at the ground, look out the windows, and feel that you're absolutely in the house. So there's a lot of things like that, the video tours, the aerial tours, things like that. So when I email that to Gino as a buyer's agent, he goes, "Oh, wow, I saw it in the MLS, but I didn't get this lot was that big. I didn't understand the privacy. I didn't see the upgrades. You can't see things in black and white." So again, properly presenting the property to agents and then the public is the key. So
Well, you're also building emotion with that too. All of that's building emotion because buying and selling, even if you're the agent, it's still emotional. Whether you're excited about that property and selling it to your buyer.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
you do a great job of building emotion. I never realized that over time how much marketing is really building emotion, and you do that with how great the virtual tours are and the overhead shots and all that. You bring them into that home so they can feel and touch and
And I'll give you a
part of it.
perfect example. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but another agent had one of our properties on the market. It's $2.5 million. And I talked to a buyer the other day, and she said, "I saw this home when it was on the market before with the other agent, and there was a few iPhone pictures, and I didn't quite get it. I see you now have the property relisted. I'm taking the day off of work to come out and see the property now that I see the features and benefits presented so properly." And then you're just like, wow, all that was worth it, So let's flip side to the buyer's agent side. And people say, well, there's what does a buyer's agent do? Well, now, instead of marketing an individual property, now it's my job as a buyer's agent to go out and find properties. So that's a full-time job in itself. You can't just use the MLS. Let's say half the properties in the MLS that we sell, but there's still actually the number, if you want to know, is 46% of the properties we sell are not in the MLS. So what does that mean? So now I have to wake up every morning.
Wait a minute, they're not all in the MLS? They're not on Zillow?
Half of them are not in the MLS. And
That's
you
a
gotta
big
remember,
number, Mike.
It's a very big number. And here's the reason why, and I'll go down the list with you. So first thing I have to do when I get up in the morning is I have to call.
You know what? I'm going to save that.
Okay.
I'm going to tease all of you out there because you're going to want to hear this because now you're like, wait a minute. I thought I can just go on to Zillow or I can go on one of those and I'll know all the properties. Mike just warned you, and he should know that half the properties aren't in the MLS. You need to know why. When we come back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHS, this is good stuff.